The United States of America was formed as a partnership of independent states to share the cost of defense, to create a higher level of dispute resolution, and knowing that governments usually grow into tyranny, to be sure that the people remained free. The founders decided that a document was needed which limited the power of government over the individual, and that document was the Constitution. Until the 1900s, the Constitution only contained amendments which protected the individual against government tyranny or granted freedom where it did not previously exist. But in 1913, the 16th Amendment was ratified. Instead of limiting the authority of government, it allowed the federal government the additional power to take money directly from the people. It created the federal income tax. This was a monumental shift in the purpose of the Constitution. With this one single amendment, the character of the Constitution was forever changed. No longer was the Constitution only for the purpose of protecting individual liberty. Once the 16th Amendment was ratified, you no longer owned the federal government. Now, the federal government owns a percentage of your labor. In essence, the federal government now owns a part of you. The 16th Amendment had legal challenges over the years, as some people interpreted the 16th Amendment as violating the 13th Amendment, which resulted in freedom for those who were previously held in slavery. It was a compelling argument because when even a percentage of what you earn is owned by someone else, what would be the proper definition of this relationship? Those legal challenges failed in federal and, of course, IRS courts. Before the 16th Amendment was ratified, direct taxation was prohibited. The federal government was an expense to the states. After the 16th Amendment, the federal government exploded in size. The protections of the individual from the federal government evaporated. The federal government created huge numbers of laws and regulations, and these laws and regulations, as well as new enforcement arms of the federal government, transformed the United States from a free country to what we have today, the country with the highest percentage of its citizens in prison in the entire world. The 16th Amendment was the largest blow to individual freedom in American history. So what do we do with this information? Ask yourself these questions. Is being free important to you? Is punishing other people more important to you than your own freedom? When government makes more rules, does it make you less free? Do you see where this all ends up? Do you want your flag to really stand for freedom? Is any major party willing to admit that you have less freedom today because of the 16th Amendment? I say no. If your freedom is important to you, I would suggest that you keep these questions in mind when you exercise your right to vote.